rain comes at the very last moment. The locals say a storm is coming. In Welin, we'll wait for good weather and second stage. After several days' stay in Labrentia, the 4 crews finally set out on their way. The weather's good, just minus 22 degrees Celsius, a northeasterly wind 4 meters per second, sunny, no clouds. The first stage, 100 kilometers long, leads from Labrentia to Welin. After crossing the Labrentia Bay, the hang gliders will be soaring towards the ice mountains ahead. Flying over the snow plains, they can see below small winding paths leading from the north. These are Russian and American dog racing teams taking part in the Nadezhda race. The pilots cross a bare rocky mountain range at an altitude of 50 meters, even though altimeter shows 750 meters above sea level. After flights lasting 1 hour and 35 minutes, all the crews land safely in Welin. Welin is set amidst gorgeous countryside which can only be found in a virgin land. It is situated right on the shore of the Bering Straits in an icy wilderness where the sea is frozen over most of the winter. The life of the local inhabitants is harsh too. The Chukchas have come to realize that communism has ended its rule, and with it the reign of the Russians. And they are now eager to rule themselves. Let the Russians go, they say. We are going to establish our own Chukcha Republic. But nobody really considers the option of having to make do without Russian assistance. They are utterly dependent on Russian supplies, and their traditional way of life can hardly be restored. Carving seals' tusks is not only a throwback to the bygone days, but also a good business. But there is a strict ban on importing these products in the United States, as the Americans are bent on protecting seals. According to local inhabitants, the weather is quite exceptional. The sun has been shining for 2 weeks, the wind is moderate, around 4 to 6 meters per second, daytime temperature around minus 17 degrees Celsius. The biggest problem is the biting frost. We have to protect our faces, hands, noses and heads. All our technology and gear seems to be insufficient. If you spend 2 hours flying at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour in minus 13 degrees Celsius, it's simply terrible. Although the weather is that good, the flyers have not yet received permission from the military to take off. And so they offer more flights to the Chukchas to everyone's enjoyment. Even though the Chukotka region has such an inhospitable nature, there are rare sights such as these hot springs. All the diseases of the motoric system, ailments of the upper respiratory tract, and various skin diseases are treated here. Privatization has reached Chukotka too. The hot springs have been offered for sale to a Japanese customer. The deal fell through because of the high radioactivity of the springs. The expedition's pilots, however, relaxed and regained their strength there. With the ambient temperature of minus 25 degrees Celsius, water is about 36 degrees warm. The takeoff day, so eagerly awaited by the whole expedition, has finally come. But it's not very easy to get gasoline in these parts. Thanks to Vladimir Stepanovich, one last barrel was found in the local Sovkhoz or farm cooperative. Transporting the fuel seemed to pose no problem. The locals just tied the barrel behind a ZIL truck. Thanks to its differential and reduced four-wheel drive, the truck, going very slowly, eventually brought the fuel to the machines. After mixing gasoline and oil, all the pard hang gliders tanked up the mixture. The crews donned special protective watertight clothing. In an emergency, one should survive in the icy waters of the Bering Straits for as much as 3 hours. The last layer are warm trousers and parkas. Everyone has to take only the barest necessities, as no hang glider should be overloaded. Only Zhenya Ananin, who's flying alone, is unaware of carrying a bottle of champagne his colleague secretly packed into his baggage. Where are you off to? America, I guess. What route? By air. What are you going to see? Many interesting things on the way, and in America. Ice and ocean from the air. In America, I don't know. Will the sea be frozen over, half and half? How about the islands? After some 50 kilometers. How many kilometers altogether? According to me, some 85 kilometers. Are you afraid? Yes, a little bit. Are you afraid? No, definitely not. I would say I feel respect. That is the right word. The Bering Straits are frozen, but the radio reported today that the wind had turned 50 meters per second. And a southerly wind, and that brings a thaw. And naturally, turbulence is thawing ice. We got special protective watertight clothing and walkies-talkies. I think that should something happen, I believe everything will be all right, but in any case, the clothing should save us. The good weather of the past few days may suddenly change, but the 4 crews are determined to take off come what may. Head of the polar station Vladimir Fadiev brings the latest reports on meteorological conditions out there, on temperature, strength and direction of wind. A local rule says that if it's nice over Chukotka, it's beastly over Alaska and vice versa. This rule